our creation is blended. Magic construction in which you could never understand the true meaning of justification. The message is never ending again and again. There is no crack in the code, though you will crack your brain trying to decode a message that is one on which bleeding truth from divine. My spine, you are lips trying to figure
Hello, beautiful stars, earth, air, fire, and water. I hope everyone has been staying played up, blessed up, and doing what you do best. It is a late afternoon out here in Rainchild's Corners, and I'm going to go on ahead and try to get some messages out while I'm on my little break. But I gotta turn this car off too, shit. I'm gonna turn this bad boy up, honey. I'm telling you, my back was freaking messed up, but it's gotten a lot better. I thought, doom for the gloom, but no, when you got these little gadgets like this, frequency shit, it really don't, I don't know, things are fixable. You know what I say? I always say, things are only complicated if you make them. But yeah, we're gonna go with Libra. Going with Libra. Wasn't even shoveling. I'm sure it looks bright as hell because I got all these bright yellow glasses. But I'm pretty sure it probably looks a little dull some. Alright, so we're going to be doing the Libra. And this is going to be Libra's financial reading. And then I'll probably ask a question, okay? Yeah, it looks like switch it up a little bit. But nothing but eyes like God Almighty. Archangels and ancestors and ever welcome. Let me turn this shit off. Hear a little bit of nature. Ambulance. Hope they ain't coming here. I ain't been out here long enough. Alright, nothing but eyes like God Almighty, Archangels and ancestors. Evil is never welcome here. Okay. Alright, let me stop. Okay, so what is it that the Libras need to know? And we're doing. And we are doing the first, second, and third Deacon. Libra. Okay. And so, what is it that the first, second, and third Libra will need to know? And we're starting right now with first Deacon. First Deacon Libra. Okay. First Deacon Libra. What is it that they need to know? Alright, so this is what slid out the darn box. You know what I'm saying? Can you see there? It says, have courage to ask for and accept help. Alright, it says asking for help is a sign of strength. As in accepting it as it is offered to you. Alright, very often when you ask God for help, prayers are answered through, other people. Prayers are always going to be answered through other people, most of the time, of course. And it says be sure to accept, this assistance as well as give it, to others as you are guided. So when you get help from other people, be sure to give back. If you borrow something from somebody and you come into like a big old blessing, why do you not give it back? You know what I'm saying? And then this is first Deacon Libra. It says asking for help is a sign of strength. If you need help with something, just ask. That's all you have to do. It's a lot more simpler than thinking people are thinking that everybody is psychic. Everybody can't tell if you need help or not. Like they always say, a closed mouth don't get fed. I've always heard that. And it says, accepting it as it is offered to you is a form of strength, you know. And sometimes it don't necessarily have to just be a person you need to go asking, you know what I'm saying? Ask God first and foremost, and tell God to, send the help in any way, in any divine timing, in order, you know what I'm saying? And you'll be surprised how these things work out, because usually it's going to come through on a person or somebody or something. Okay, so that was for the first sign, the first deacon, Libra. Okay, so now we're going to be moving to the second. So, second deacon, Libra. Second deacon, Libra. Let me get comfy. Second deacon, Libra. My arms and my back is vibrating from the thing. So we have second deacon, Libra. What is it that they need to know? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Nematized light. Evil's never welcome here. Thank you, second deacon, Libra. Second deacon, Libra. Second deacon, Libra. What is the second deacon, Libra need to know? Second deacon, Libra. What is it that they need to know about their finances or whatever it is? Okay. It says visualize abundance in all forms. Okay. It says God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. All right. And then it says hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful. Health, 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 healthful, positive, and filled with blessings. And that is what you will experience. So when you use the very thing that's inside of you as far as your thoughts and making them positive, that is the most spiritual, the highest spiritual power that you have, that God has given you, besides protection, but it's not hard to put yourself, in a positive mode, to think positive about things that you want to see, come into your life, as far as doing things on a right, scale, in an uplifting manner, never in a negative. I'm not talking to anybody doing things in a negative manner. No. But when you think about it and do it in the positive manner, you'll be surprised how these things are going to work out. Things always work out when it's in the positive mind frame of thinking. It always do. That's what a lot of people get things twisted. They always think you got to step on somebody's head, or, tit for tat. You know what I'm saying? Make a competition out of everything. Put somebody down. Stump on people. You don't have to do shit like that. You don't. You really don't have to do things like that. And like I say, people get it twisted because they always seem to think that that's the way to go and it always works out. No, it does not. There's going to always be repercussions of your actions, okay? And then on top of that, it's going to always be, basically just horrible consequences, and it's not going to happen as fast as you want it to. Okay, I had got cut off. Alright. And where I was at was on the deservingness, basically it was saying that, you are a beloved child of God, and if you choose to be a beloved child of God, then you are as such. You know what I'm saying? It says you are a beloved child of God, like everyone else. You come into this world as such. This is what I was saying before it got cut off. But you come into this world as such. It's your choice to decide to not be, a loving child of God. You know what I'm saying? That is your decision, your choice. Sometimes people just think that, I look at it like this, being good, or just being like good, a good person, good girl, good guy. They believe sometimes that you're not winning in life. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it might take a long time, and it's difficult. You know what I'm saying? And things just always be looking messed up. But I'm here to tell you, it's not like that at all. It's always a divine time and order of how God does things. Everything ain't meant to be rushed. You know what I'm saying? I have faith. I don't care, how long things take. You know what I'm saying? I might not be the most perfect little angel on the face of the earth, because Lord knows I am not. I am far from it. But I don't go around messing with folks. You know what I'm saying? And that's just using, an example of, But when you have the faith, and I'm just telling you this because I have been through a lot in life, you know what I'm saying? And things may, from just, outside looking in, you probably be thinking, oh, she ain't doing it. Bitch, I work my ass off. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, just because things don't go fast, it doesn't mean it ain't happening, Captain. God and the angels do see you, and they see you when you work hard. They see you when you're working hard. You know what I'm saying? And they get it, but things just have to be done in divine time and order. Sometimes you just can't receive things so fast. It's a lot that comes into play. People can be, sometimes when they get certain things or whatever the case may be, or if somebody does they come into a windfall of money. Some people get arrogant. They get very arrogant. They get very selfish, even more selfish. Sometimes, God just have to let you learn some lessons before things, come to you like that. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes people are just too nice. You could be just too nice, and just let people just run all over top of you and take everything from you and take over who it is that you are as a person. See, the thing is, with certain people, they tend to think that your calm, demeanor. And I know a lot of Libras are. They're very calm. They're very sweet. They have a lot of patience. You know what I'm saying? A lot of patience. So much patience to the point, you'll be surprised at when they actually do, flip out. Because most of the time when people do flip out, and I'm not just saying Libras, I'm just saying anybody. When a person flips out, sometimes, they're flipping out might go into overdrive. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can do too much. Yeah, you can. But we tend to grow, from everything that we do. We grow. Everyone grows. But some people can have setbacks. And I'm just told to just pull one more for you guys. And I'm not going to be pulling no more from this deck. But yes, know that when you use your gifts, as far as what God Almighty gives you, and everything comes in divine time and order, have the courage to just ask again. You know what I'm saying? And don't even when you get what it is you're supposed to be getting from God, when you get your blessings, be sure to continue to be thankful and continue to pray. Don't just do it when you want something. That's kind of messed up. I don't know, this just flipped out. Yeah, because this is what brings you the abundant mindset. And this is for all Libras, the collective, period. All. Not just the first, second, or third. Okay? It says if you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. Okay? It says, see, feel, think, and speak of abundance and something you already have in the present. You know what I'm saying? So when you see it, speak it, know it's already in the present. And that is what will, what you will experience to fruition. I just heard pretend. You know what I'm saying? Pretending is not faking the funk, child. I don't say pretend. I just heard pretend. But maybe somebody out here is pretending like they got it going on and they really don't. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just a showboat or somebody. Maybe someone you need to be careful of. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. But at the same time, I don't pretend. I know. Okay? Knowing is knowing and makes it solid. No. Okay. That would have been a good one too, but wasn't told to accept that, I think. Alright, so I'm going to get a closing message here from the Angel Oracle. Alright. Numbers like God Almighty, Archangels, Ancestors. Evil is never welcome here. Trying this, my nails just popping off like crazy. Alright, what is the closing message for Libra for this message? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Quickly. Swiftly. Oh, you saw that? Let me get it. Ta-da! Recovery. I feel like there was some type of major setback for a couple of people, considering the whole ordeal of the reading. When you look at this reading right here, any reading, for a fact, when it's 1, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd deacon, you take your card, the first card you get, you take that as your personal message, and then all the messages together, you take them as a whole. Okay? Alright, so according to that whole entire message, you know what I'm saying, the ones that I pulled for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and when it was saying something about don't be afraid to ask God and know that you're worthy because you are God's child, technically it was basically saying, give me 1 second, let me see something. Don't forget to just, ask for help, you know what I'm saying, and know that it's coming, know that you're worthy, and know that that you're supposed to have, a positive mindset on your financial resources or whatever the case may be, and however you may look at it. Yes, it is hard, but it ain't hard to start practicing, you know what I'm saying. Therefore, you should be able to have a beautiful recovery, okay? Because technically this is the message. You are recovering from some type of setback. You know what I'm saying? You're recovering from some type of setback. And know that you're worthy of things. If you've done something fucked up or whatever to somebody or whatever the case may be, apologize. Apologize if you can. And if you can't, then forgive yourself. And just know and pray to God that they will forgive you. It's not a bad thing, to do. Plenty of times, you might have felt like you might have hurt somebody, and if you hurt somebody or not. And if you haven't, and you've been a good person, and you've done everything right, and you tried to do everything right, and maybe you might have made some mistakes along the way, that's fine too. Just ask God for forgiveness of these. And whatever it is that you're praying about, and you've been asking God, it's a yes. And so I love each and every one of you guys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. And love you all. Time for me to get back to work. Be sure to leave me some messages and let me know if anything, if if it's your message or not. Okay? Deuces.